everybody, welcome to the Pro Wrestling Power Podcast review of Simply Smackdown. Yes, I have the privilege, nay the honor, actually in these dark times, the civic duty to bring you the review of the Go Home Smackdown before we start the 2-day WrestleMania. Yeah, that's right. We don't just get WrestleMania Sunday, we get WrestleMania weekend. Good, bad, I don't know, we'll find out in a few hours. We start SmackDown. Tell me if you've heard this before with the Usos, The New Day, Miz and Morrison, all saying that they're going to win the match at WrestleMania, and then they fight. Yeah, that's how the show started. It's like, yay, creativity! This is WWE paint by numbers. You know, it's like they have Mad Libs with some scripts. It's like, okay, here's what's going to happen. Team A, B, and C are going to come out. And we just fill in the names. There was one decent moment. It did make me laugh a little bit. Big E is a national treasure. He's like, hey, for all those fans watching at home. And usually that part of the promo is for all the fans in attendance. So it made me giggle. I'm weird, I know. I'll allow it. Then they were like, oh crap, we put Tamina into this match. Now we have to make it look like she can actually win, even though she hasn't been on TV since the mid-90s. It was Naomi and Lacey Evans and Tamina. And Tamina wins after interference from Bayley and Sasha, who were on commentary. And then Tamina just beats the crap out of everyone. And now we're all supposed to be convinced that Tamina can win, even though they'll probably put her back in her Ziploc bag and back on the shelf after WrestleMania is over, and we can all go back to forgetting that she exists. I mean, what the heck is going on here? Which does remind me, this is the first show of any of these that have been pre-taped from the Performance Center that Asuka doesn't appear on. Look, guys, you should push her. You should put a belt on her. You should reward Asuka for being your MVP through this time. She was on, except for this one, like I said, she was on every show, and she was always entertaining, and she was always the best segment. So, guys, do the right thing here. Asuka is the Pro Wrestling Power Podcast MVP for the Empty Arena WWE. Not just SmackDown, not just Raw, which is the show that she's supposed to be on, but the whole thing. Congratulations. We'll mail you a trophy or something. Also, Michael Cole wore Lacey Evans' silly hat. Because why not? We get a thing coming across the screen that says, the truth shall be heard. And I'm like, oh yay, R-Truth? He's always entertaining. No, but more on that later. We get a replay of the WrestleMania 24 match where Shawn Michaels fake retired Ric Flair, and it was a great match. It was a replay. Why do you gotta make me cry again? Why? Why you gotta do that to me? I'm just trying to watch and enjoy. And you showing me the greatest ever getting kicked in the face and retiring, and Shawn saying I love you before he kicked him in the face. Just, why? Why are you doing? And then on top of that, directly afterwards, they show a replay of Baron Corbin Lion Kinging Elias. I mean, why do we need to show this again and remind people that Elias should probably not be medically cleared to perform? But hey, we're getting the match anyway. And then, in continuing weirdness, we finally get an announcement that the Universal title match is going to be Braun Strowman versus Bill Goldberg. And that's all we get. There's no further explanation. There's no, hey, you know, that was Roman Reigns that was going to be in that match. It was just, nope, let's completely forget Roman Reigns exists. I mean, did he get kidnapped by those guys on NXT? Is that what happened? I know more about the actual reasoning because of Roman Reigns' Twitter and Instagram than I do explained on the show. Just some weird thing going on there. And with his health issues, I absolutely applaud it and completely understand it. But we could have used a little tiny bit of explanation here for kayfabe reasons, because we still kind of pretend that it's real, right? Maybe? I don't know. Are we still doing that? Please let me know. Tucker and Otis are talking in the back. Otis gets another text message, because that's never caused problems before. And it ends up being Tucker versus Dolph Ziggler. Dolph gets disqualified for using ring stairs, even though he didn't actually completely use them. But what this was all really about was continuing the Otis Dolph Ziggler, Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville storyline. Some guy that looks like a reject from the Matrix is sitting in a chair with all the computer stuff going on, and he turns around and he reveals that it was Dolph and Sonya Deville that worked together to send that text message to keep Otis and Mandy Rose apart. So thank you for remembering that was a thing and making sure that we can cheer for Otis at WrestleMania, because if not, he was this creepy stalker guy and it was going to be difficult. Yay, that makes me look forward to it a little bit more. And I'm intrigued to see who this character is that's telling the truth and weird Matrixy stuff. Probably Mustafa Ali if I had to guess, but they did a good job of only showing Guy's hand. Then we get what was actually the best match of the night. One of three actually. Daniel Bryan versus Shinsuke Nakamura. If you were to tell me that this would be the main event of a pay-per-view, I would be all for it. What wrestling we actually did get was great, as you would expect from these two guys. The problem was, rather than actually let Nakamura win, they went with a DQ finish. Because why? It makes not a lot of sense there. I don't get it storyline wise. You didn't need to protect either one of them. You could go either way. Daniel Bryan is going to be an intriguing story versus Sami Zayn, win or lose out of this match. It actually hurt it more than anything else doing the DQ. And then Sami Zayn on commentary and Cesaro interfering, and then they beat down Daniel Bryan afterwards. Okay, this is more WWE paint by numbers stuff. I've seen this a few hundred times. I mean, it is the go home show before WrestleMania. I don't know. The WWE paint by numbers has been more obvious in the empty arena than I think it ever has before. I think they need to redo their Mad Lib sheet. Shake it up a little bit. Cut some out. Maybe hire people that aren't yes men. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here. Then we get the ending promo. John Cena talking about how Goldberg exposed the Fiend and how he's going to beat him down and all this. And then we get a really creative use of the empty arena and the Fiend Bray Wyatt character. The puppets come up and start talking to Cena, and that was a little surreal seeing, puppets and Cena talking. I got flashbacks to that episode of Parks and Rec. You should watch it, it was pretty good. And the puppets are like, yeah, you can play with, when he beats you, you can play with us, John Cena. And then the rabbit gets scared, and the Fiend shows up on the balcony that they have in the Performance Center. The same one that Baron tossed Elias off of. It's a very, very versatile balcony, apparently. And then we think, okay, this is cool. We got to stare down. This is how we're going to end it. Good build, a little goofy, but whatever. It's Bray Wyatt the Fiend. And then, what do you know, they remembered they had an empty arena and they could film things and they could cut and do all this creative stuff with it. and it was Bray Wyatt standing behind Cena in the ring instead of the Fiend, and I'm like, okay, that was really cool. That was well done. And then they cut again, and he's not there. So, bravo to that. That was pretty solid. Overall, not this. It was seriously a tale of two cities. SmackDown. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. When it was good, it was really, really good. But when it was bad, oh dear God, was it bad. Anyway, that leads us on to a full weekend of WrestleMania. And of course, we here at Pro Wrestling Power Podcast are going to be bringing it to you. I think Retro Joe's going to have the first night of shows, and then I will have the Sunday night action. So I hope you guys enjoy. And if you do, please remember, subscribe, like, leave a comment. Tell us who's your MVP of the empty arena shows. I'd appreciate hearing from you. Thank you guys. God bless.